It's not that the folks at Boynton Beach Community High School weren't amazed by Lamar Jackson's performance against Syracuse.
The things that most people are seeing, they're new.
It's just that they've seen it all before.
The things that we see, he's been doing this forever.
Lendon Clemens was the assistant principal when Jackson transferred into his school as a sophomore. From day one, Jackson made his intentions clear.
He walked on campus, walked into my head coach, Coach Swain's office, and introduced himself as our new quarterback. And that didn't go over very well with Coach Swain, who informed him that I have no idea who you are. You haven't scored a touchdown for me, so you got to prove yourself on the field.
But Jackson had the skills to back up his bravado. And from the moment he stepped foot on this field, it was clear Boynton Beach had a new star.
Just a small school, you know, we was going like 4 games, winning 4 games, 5 games, but as soon as he transferred in, that was the best years of program history.
As Jackson continued to pile up the yards and the highlights, his reputation grew around the school. Jackson became a local legend, and soon everyone wanted to share in on the fun.
So this is Action Jackson. We made some posters up for him. We knew he was going to excel. It was just a matter of when.
Despite the success, Jackson did not change. Even to this day at Louisville, his friends and teachers from back home insist he's still the same guy.
The thing that I think he's going to be so successful, it's not too big for him. It's a kid playing a game. And we made sure when he was here that we never told him, we never wanted him to know how good he really was.
Mike Lissette, WDRB Sports. Louisville came into its game with number 2 Florida State with something to prove. All summer long, the Cards said they had what it took to compete for an ACC championship, maybe even a national championship. Saturday was their chance to show their stuff. Head out to Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. The 10th-ranked Cards looking for their first ever win over a top 2 team. They wasted no time getting started. Already 7-0 in the first. It's Lamar Jackson on the ground. His second touchdown of the day. And how about this? The Cardinals have only beaten the Seminoles twice in 16 games, up 14-0. Second quarter, Cards up 21-10 and not letting up. This time Jackson finds Jalen Smith, 4-yard touchdown. Jackson 13 of 20, 216 passing yards and that one score. Louisville up 35-10 at the break. Cardinals blowing it open in the third. Jair Alexander on the punt return. Jair Alexander, they're not going to stop him. 69 yards for the touchdown. Cards up 42-10. Fourth quarter. The final knockout coming from who else? It's Jackson. Man would not go down. 47-yard touchdown. Jackson ran for 146 yards, scored 4 rushing touchdowns. 18 now for the season. That's incredible. Louisville wins big 63-20. Tom Lane and Eric Crawford have more on one of the greatest victories in program history. All right, guys, so a big win for Louisville and a tougher than expected win for Kentucky. Up next, how the Cats managed to power past New Mexico State. Kentucky expected to get back on track today against New Mexico State. What the Wildcats didn't expect was a shootout against a team picked to finish 9th in the Sun Belt Conference. A weird one at Commonwealth Stadium where they said 49,000 were on hand to see it. First quarter, no score. New Mexico State gets on the board first. Tyler Rogers to Jonathan Boone. In less than 2 minutes in, the Aggies are up 7-0. Bit later, the Cats trailing 14-7. Steven Johnson in to replace the injured Drew Barker. Finds C.J. Conrad, 87-yard touchdown. Johnson 17 of 22, 310 yards. Cats tie it at 14. Real rough one for the UK defense. Second quarter, Teran Taylor looking for the half-pack pass. Instead, takes it in himself. 35 all at the half. Cats in this one gave up 500 yards of total offense. UK finally pulled away in the second half. True freshman running back Benny Snell in for the injured JoJo Kemp, fights his way in for the touchdown. Tied a school record with 4 rushing TDs. UK wins a shootout 62-42. Cats get their first win of the season. John Lewis has more on that. Thank you very much, John. Meanwhile, things figured to get a little easier for Western Kentucky this week. Fresh off a loss to the national champion Alabama Crimson Tide, Jeff Brom and company back to work today against the 0-2 Miami Redhawks. Hilltoppers happy to have a healthy Mike White back in as quarterback. He left last week's game with a head injury and didn't return. Third quarter, it's White getting back into form, finds a wide open Nicholas Norris. 53-yard touchdown. White 19 of 31, 268 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Hilltoppers looked like they were about to run away with it, but give the Redhawks credit. They battled back into the third. Watch this, off the hands of Brandon Leston and right into the arms of James Gardner. 70-yard touchdown, and Miami within 7. But the Hilltoppers had all the answers when it mattered. Fourth quarter, White to PRP grad Taywan Taylor. Taylor became WKU's all-time leader in receptions with that touchdown catch. Hilltoppers win 31-24. WKU now 2-1 on the season. Finally, soccer. Didn't forget soccer. Louisville City on the road. They needed to do at least a draw against St. Louis to clinch the #2 seed in the upcoming playoffs. Why settle for the draw, though, right? Trailing 1-0 in the first. Kadeem Dakers off a nice bounce right to the back of the net. Lou City ties us at 1 in the 38th minute, and they would go on to win this one by the final of 5-1, so they have the #2 seed in the upcoming playoffs. And that's sports tonight. I'm Mike Lissette. Have a good night.
That is where we find our Mike Lissette. Hey, Mike.
How you doing, Tom? Now, it is quiet here now, but you better believe it's going to get loud, and it's going to get loud early tomorrow morning. Now, we are outside Gate 1 of Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. If you look right here, you'll see an entrance. Now, fans are going to go through there. It's believed at about 4 a.m. to get in front and center for the ESPN broadcast of College Game Day, which you can see the big stage there underneath that white tent. A lot of excitement and a big opportunity for the Louisville Cardinals. If you recall, this is the matchup really they've been waiting for all summer. The Cards talking about competing for a national championship, talking about competing for an ACC championship. This is their chance to show they belong in the conversation with the Florida States and the Clemsons.